Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking some PvP action with the new PvP King and the Strength team. Now, with Championship and Block A, Strength have been getting their feathers up. They've been parading around as not only Strength has been boosted, but like Strikers and Fighters have also been getting buffed. And during the Championship especially, as well as Block A, Strength teams actually got quite a significant jump, and characters like Jack, characters like Bullet, characters like Kuma, characters like Kid were all sort of resurging and doing very, very good within the meta. Now, in today's video, we are taking this Strength team that you see on screen right here. Shout out to Baba, by the way, one of my homies. He sent me this particular team to try out during the Championship, and it was working very, very well against majority of Dex teams. Now, most of these fights are from Block A, so wow, words are hard. Strength are getting extra 4 defense, which is actually quite nice, but Strikers are actually getting buffed as well. I think Fighters and Strikers during Championship did get buffed, so characters like Jack, and then with the Strength buff as well, were just doing absolute bits, and characters like Luffy and Whitebeard were also doing very, very well. So, let's take a look at the team, and let's take on some Dex teams. So in today's video, we're pretty much only fighting Dex, which is usually and stereotypically very, very good against everything in the game. Now, this video is not me stating that Strength is better than Dex by all means, but it is showing that, like, in the right situation, you can beat majority of the Dex teams that are floating around. Dex have an array of very, very good units, and there are a lot of different builds that make them very, very powerful. However, if you build your team right, obviously Strength versus Dex, Dex versus Quick, Quick versus Strength, and then Cyan in being interchangeable, you can do some really, really cool stuff, and you can take down a lot of bait teams or strong teams as well. So the team resides around 2 characters, being Kuma and Kid, that can go through defense. But there is a very, very important unit that actually just popped his special then, and that is Jack. Jack is a rainbow unit. His Rumble ability gives HP up level 6, and for the first 30 seconds he gives level 2 defense. But his special, this is 6+ Jack, by the way, his special does level 4 defense up to teammates in a large range for 25 seconds. He does a 15% HP cut within a large range. And then if you have 60 seconds or more, he then does a 30% HP cut. So these HP cuts are very, very valuable because Jack stereotypically pops off very, very early and then allows Kid and Kuma to actually go through the defensive effects and do a lot of damage that way. Kid especially, obviously with Strikers being boosted, was having a field day. The characters like Kuma, with his PvP buff now hitting 2 units, means that he is very, very good. So as I was saying, with Kuma's buff and his special, he can actually hit 2 units now instead of 1, which makes him very, very viable because those 2 enemies take 2 times attack that ignore defense. He also deals 2.5 times his attack in a large range as well. So he can basically do a bunch of damage to all enemies, and then he'll basically pick out 2 units, and most of the time he will like either kill them or get them very, very close to death. His Rumble ability, though, I feel like needed a bit of work, and I really wish that he got a bit of a buff there as well when he got his actual Rumble buffs with like Garp and Kazara and some of those other characters. But his Rumble ability gives attack up level 5 to Strength, blow away % up level 10, and then when you blow away enemies, which means like you push them back, he gives Strength type teammates level 3 attack up, stacking up to 3 times. So he can give an extra 9 attack, which is quite nice, especially for characters like Kid. Now when Kid goes, Kid hits ridiculously hard, but to slow down the enemy, we do have Arlong. Arlong targets Dex type enemies for speed down level 6, but then also gives Strength attack up level 5, speed up level 5, and like I said, with that nerfing against Dex within the first 40 seconds, you basically pop your attacks off a lot quicker, and it allows you to get your specials off a lot sooner as well. Putting him in the front lines, letting him die is not that like detrimental to the team, because really in the first 40 seconds is all you really want him to do. You can put him in the middle if you really want to save Jack a bit of damage, but nevertheless, he's actually quite good when he pops his special off. He targets enemies within a large range for 2 times damage, targets Strength type teammates attack up level 7 and defense up level 3. That level 3 defense up is quite nice because Strength is quite fickle and can take a lot of damage very, very quickly. Especially if you come up against like a Dex team with Kainu, or you come up with like something like Fuji in the back, like this team's rocking. So you do have to be very, very careful when it comes to actually versing some quick sort of Dex builds, or coming up against stuff like tanky builds like Doflamingo in the back, Brook in the front. You can get unlucky with what Kid hits. He can whiff. Kuma can miss like the main units, and then you could be in for a bad time there. So you do have to be mindful of that. But Strength Kid is still an absolute demon for the Strength team. If you don't have Strength Kid, probably just shouldn't run Strength, if I'm completely honest. He gives level 7 attack up to Strength units, and that is literally all he does. I think he needs a little bit more. Like, I feel like he needs a little bit more with his passive, but his special is so damn good. As you guys just saw then, he targets enemies within a medium frontal range that ignores defense for attack of 1.5 times, and then targets Strength type teammates for defense up level 3 for 10 seconds. That defense up, again, very, very valuable, but the damage that he does is second to none. That damage basically carries you through all of your fights, and without Kid, it's very, very hard to get that damage. But with the new rare recruit, King, the PvP rare recruit, you basically have a 20 cost option on the bench that can do something very, very similar. The final unit on the team, or in the front line I should say, is actually Kizuna Boa. Now I have totally done a 180 full, well, actually a full 360, full 360 flip on this particular unit. I didn't rate her that much. Like, I tried to do a PvP showcase, it just wasn't working for me at the time. Until I was, like, King came out and I was reached out to by Baba, sort of helping me out with some team building with PvP around the championship area when I did go top 500. And this team, like, honestly kind of blew me away, to be honest. It did really, really well, but most of the time you are versing Dex. But with Boa, she gives defense up level 5 to strength, HP up level 5, and for the first 30 seconds, speed up level 5 as well. So her passive is very, very good for strength, and then her special is very interesting. And this is what let me down a little bit with her with this unit, because her special is a bit counterintuitive in my eyes. She targets one enemy for attack of 1.5 up to 5 times. Then she targets all enemies for a 30% chance of confusion, which is for 10 seconds. And if you have a Boa, Marigold, or Sonia on the team, targets all enemies for 30% action bind. Now, as you guys can see, we have the PvP Sonia on the bench, which means we do get activated that action bind. The problem with this unit is if you actually get the confusion and the action bind on the same unit, it just totally null and voids that stun mechanic, or the confusion, I should say, which is the most valuable part of her kit. Getting that stun means you can completely avoid specials. And completely avoiding specials means you completely avoid damage, which basically just keeps you alive for longer. However, when you do get Sonia in, Sonia works very, very well, because she works when a Boa is on the team as well. Sonia's ability gives strength teammates HP up level 5, recovery up level 5, and if you have 60% or HP above, strength teammates get attack up level 6. When she comes in, she's an amazing nuker. She has a lot of damage. She can target 3 enemies for attack of 2.5 for 2 times. And if you have a Boa, Marigold, or Hancock on the team, she gets 15% cooldown reduction to strength units, which is very, very good for characters like Kuma and characters like Kid. You really want to make sure those two characters stay alive. Even like when you come up against stuff like a Kainu, it's enough HP on this team, you have enough defense on this team to actually tank a lot of the shots, and you will be in for a good time. Obviously, you don't want to verse stuff like quick teams, like Izukikus and Kaidos and Shiryus and all that sort of stuff. Like, you got to be mindful that this strength team is not built to take on quick, especially a quick team that's designed to take down strength. It just doesn't make too much sense. And that's why I sort of led this video with, like, Dex aren't, like, worse than strength. We're just sort of built a team that sort of works against them. But the MVP of this particular video today, even though you aren't really going to see him against any of these fights, mainly because we didn't need him against any of these fights, is Rare Recruit King. King is the newest PvP Rare Recruit, and he's an amazing bench unit and will find his way onto pretty much every single team as a bench character. He has fighter class teammates attack up level 6, HP up level 6, and after 50 seconds he gives himself level 5 attack and CT speed up level 5. But that's not the big draw of the unit, because he's special, as I mentioned earlier, is basically like a 20 cost Kid. He targets enemies within a large range horizontal, ignoring defense for attack times 2. So just like Kid, he just does ignoring defense damage, just like Kuma, it's 2 times, and he does a large frontal range, which means he hits a lot of units, and he can do a lot of damage. However, this can still whiff, so just be careful of that. It can still miss, and you can still die. In the last 50 seconds of battle, the man does so much damage, and he gets cooldown reduction, which means that you're easily going to get that. Usually, you'll have Sonia in as well. She's giving cooldown reductions, which will help King get his special up, and with the two of them together, you can do some really, really fun stuff there. It works incredibly, incredibly well. If you do get King in with a special and he just pops it, 99% of the time you are going to win. Very similar to how Kid was when he used to come off the bench against majority of teams and just do absolutely crazy stuff like 7,000 damage at the back end of a fight and take out the entire team. As for the final unit on the team, I've just sort of chucked on Kaku here. You can use Kaku in the front over Arlong. It's another really, really good shout, especially when you are versing Dex, because he gives Dex-type teammates CT speed down level 6 and defense down level 2, But then he also gives HP up level 5 for the first 40 seconds of battle when you are running a strength team. So, well, he gives HP up level 5, and then for the first 40 seconds, he does Dex teammate C. Dex teammate... Dex enemies CT speed down level 6 and defense down level 2. So, he can nerf Dex so drastically and just basically avoid their specials. However, their specials don't do too much to us, and the damage isn't, like, too crazy. Plus, nowadays, he's only really doing, like, level 5 HP, which, like, there are, like I said, Arlong in the front, I feel like, is just a little bit nicer, because the idea is we don't need to lower their defense, because Kid and Kuma is basically just ignoring it. He targets enemies with a medium range for attack type of 2x2, and then targets Dex teammate, Dex type enemies for defense down level 5. I don't know why I kept saying Dex type teammates. We don't have any Dex type teammates. That sort of last spot is kind of optional there. But the moral of the video is just to say that Strength have been sort of kicking their feathers up. They have been sort of having a bit of a resurgence, and it's nice to see them actually back in the playable meta. As for me, like, this team is still not even, like, close to a top 5 team. It still struggles against, obviously, the big Dex team. I have lost against Dex teams with this as well, even with Strength, Striker, Fighters getting buffs. But it does have a lot of other options, stuff like I said, Luffy and Whitebeard. They're a Fighter, Striker, Strength units. They were running around like crazy in Championship. You can use stuff like Bullet. He's definitely seen a resurgence with the Strength buffs. You have a lot of other characters like Kobe as a PvP rare recruit, as well as Cracker. They also do very, very well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video anyway. If you did, put the like button. Can you hit the big subscribe button? If you want to see more PvP content, let me know in the comment section below. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.